and up until I come and appear here. I therefore request if the commissioners can be so kind and allow me to just quickly go over that.
Please do so, General. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. I think after I have received the Rule 3, whereby we received the document and 3 pages of transcripts of General Khumalo, I instructed my attorneys and then Commissioner on the 21st. On the letter dated 21st, my attorneys were talking to the commission attorneys, and the letter was talking to the following aspects: that Major General Senona is unfortunately in no position to give evidence on the 26th of November. Major General Senona has been unfairly prejudiced through the dilatory actions of your office and or your client. Should the commission insist on Major General Senona giving evidence on the date contained in the subpoena, same will amount to unfair hearing. As is known, on 9 October, Major General Senona received a Rule 3 notice accompanied by 4 pages of Lieutenant General Khumalo's transcript for 29 September. The notice further accompanied by WhatsApp chats allegedly evidencing conversation between Major General Senona and Mr. Vusumusi Matlala. WhatsApp chats were sent sans attached SEN1 to SEN7. On 17 October, we addressed a letter to the Commission wherein we expressed our client's inability to respond to Rule 3 notice because of the insufficient information documents provided. We also requested that we be furnished with all the relevant evidence in the Commission's possession for the purpose of our client's response. On the 20th of October, our offices were further wrote to the Commission, specifically Mrs. Mary Walsnath, requesting a full transcript of Lieutenant General Khumalo dated 29. Mr. Walsnath reverted with same on the event date. On the 6th of November 2025, almost 3 weeks since the transmission of our letter dated 17 October, we still awaited your response to our request for further evidence. We wrote to the Commission to inquire as to their response, as a 3-week wait was hardly unreasonable. On Sunday, 9 November 2025, a few days short of a month from the date of our request, we finally received a response of refusing to furnish us with the requested information. The reasons were as follows. Commissioner, we finally received the response refusing to furnish us with the requested information. The reasons as follows. I'm going to read this. The full extent of your client's implication by Lieutenant General Khumalo is contained within his oral evidence and supporting annexures has already before the Commission. That is in the transcripts accompanying annexures which have already been provided to yourself, which are publicly accessible. We reverted to our letter dated 14 November 2025. We clarified once again that the evidence of Lieutenant General Khumalo was insufficient and he took ill and did not address all the WhatsApp chats concerning our clients. We further inform your offices that the evidence as it relates to WhatsApp messages given by Witness X and Lieutenant Khumalo instead. We pause to draw your attention to Witness X confirmation of the above in paragraph 3 of her statement, which states, General Khumalo was only able to analyze and present the contents of one of these chats records, in bracket is Mr. Mokgotsi, before failing seriously ill, which necessitated the adjournment of the proceedings on the 3rd day of the evidence. We maintain our position that evidence was insufficient. We insisted on receiving the statements and annexures of Witness X and Lieutenant General Khumalo and WhatsApp annexures SEN1 to SEN7 and the transcripts of General Khumalo on the 4th and the 5th of November, should they be relevant. Kindly take note that none of the requested documents were publicly available at all relevant times thereto. On 21st November 2025 at 15:35.
Apologies, General. What was the date when the general is reminded before us? Please remind me. appeared when before the general appeared before the commission last year,
26 November.
yes, 26 November. Yes. Everything you are saying through or going through dates now, 26 November 2025 when you appeared before us. And if you are talking unfair notice and possibly having information that you require, my understanding, and this has been repeated before this commission, is that at some point, after all of what you are referring to, after all the correspondence in respect of which you were complaining about outstanding material, at some point you said, I now have everything and I'm ready for the commission to proceed. So the point I'm making is perhaps, and I'm not cutting you on the point you are making, the point of substance. If you can take it after the date, if there's anything at all to say in that regard, may you please take it after you had said, now I have everything. But before that, I'm not so sure where all of this is taking us.
Thank you, Commissioners. I've taken note of that. Just wanted to inform the Commission on record the challenges I went through even before I appeared on the 26th of November, where some of the documents were issued on the very same day that I appeared upon it, which for me by then it was not. Even the files that commissioners we were required to receive over the weekend. And then the commissioner's attorneys promised to deliver those files at my attorney's offices, of which it didn't happen. At some stages, it prejudiced one as a witness in the commission to come and testify or prepare. So I wanted to bring that under the attention of the commission, that in one of the commissioner's ruling was that all persons mentioned before these commissions, prior to them being mentioned, they must be informed and provided with the relevant documents and information in order for them to prepare. And failure to do that will have a prejudice on them. I think it is your good self, Commissioner, when you gave that ruling earlier. So I wanted this to be on record, so that the commissioners must know also the challenges that I have experienced. Some of the documents we received annexures on the 27th, Tuesday. This morning, we received an email of another document, of which I'm not sure I'm going to be cross-examined by that document or not, but these practices, I feel that I'm being prejudiced. I thank you for the opportunity, Commissioners. Thank you very much. That is what I wanted to highlight.
Thank you very much, General. General, let me for a moment leave aside the document that you've just mentioned right at the tail end. About the rest of the documents, those that you say you were given fairly recently, I did not get a sense, not from you, not from Ms. Mafisa, until now, that you were not able meaningfully and effectively to participate in the proceedings of the commission. It was only yesterday that for the first time, when you showed us the blank or redacted texts, that one got a sense that you were suggesting some unfairness. Before that, there was not a hint whatsoever that you were not able meaningfully and effectively to participate in the proceedings. Did I get a wrong sense, Ms. Mafisa?
Chairperson, I will gently remind the chairperson and the commissioners that regarding one of the occasions relates to the video that was played a couple of days ago of the alleged internal meeting of the SAPS. I stated, I rather objected that we did not get enough time to actually watch that video and to further consult with the client. And I did state that it unfairly prejudices Major General Senona and also the legal team, because we were unable to watch that evidence and to even put it, or rather address it within our statement. And I do think that it was unfair. And just regarding some of the documents that we have received, whether it's when we arrive here at the commission, I definitely do second what Major General Senona is saying. There were documents that I personally received, I think it was on Tuesday, with my attorney as well. And I was quite upset by that, chairperson, because I feel as though as a legal representative, my attorneys as well, we were not given sufficient time to read through these documents. And I don't think I can say anything better than what Major General Senona has already said, but for the video also just evidences the inability for us as the legal team to properly prepare and to properly prepare with Major General Senona.
Thank you, Ms. Mafisa. The General is quite correct in saying that I have emphasized that this commission wants to treat everybody appearing before it fairly. It's not its intention to prejudice anybody, and I think I actually use that word. And this is something I've expressed more than once previously. And I have expressed it, this is something I've expressed more previously. And I have expressed it in context that did not relate to specific individuals. I would say that all this broadly and generally. I continue to say that. Now, regarding the video which you give as an example in responding to my question whether there have been any hints of prejudice, I will agree that it was indeed and would have been prejudicial to General Senona to be questioned in connection with that video without him having had sufficient time to consider it, and indeed without his legal representatives having considered it and consulted with him about it. But in that regard, the reality is that that video was given to the general and to the general's legal representatives overnight, for them to consider it overnight. And the following morning, I did not. And overnight, I did not get to hear that there were still complaints of prejudice in that regard. Yes, you do indicate your annoyance at getting other documents. I think you mentioned even the 26th. But that takes us back to the point I made earlier, which is, was the commission advised that there would be prejudice in respect of those? I'm not saying it was not, but I do not recall that it was. If it was, the probability is that the commission would have reacted in a similar manner as it did with the video, which is in respect of whatever documents you felt the general would be prejudiced. It being the commission, it would probably have reacted in a similar manner. But as I say, I emphasize that I may well be making a mistake in saying that you or the general did not alert us to prejudice, potential or possible prejudice with regard to other material other than the video. Perhaps before you respond, because I saw your instructing attorney whispering, and you may want to respond. Perhaps before you do that, let me just invite comment from Ms. Hassan.
Thank you, Chair. There's quite a lot that's been said. And, you know, the objection was raised yesterday about documents that were apparently not provided, like the annexures, which is just incorrect. All of those documents had been provided by 26 November at the request of the witness's legal representatives. What the witness and his legal representatives failed to tell the Commission is how delayed they were in providing the Commission with their statement to enable us to finalize our preparation for the hearing. And they received numerous instances of correspondence from us. At one point, in fact, having to warn them that they were at risk at committing an offense under the Commissions Act for failing to comply with the deadline. So it's true that there were certain documents that only arrived, that we were only able to provide to them over the weekend before coming here and early this week. But no objection was raised in respect of those documents. And those documents are documents that are actually within the witness's possession. It's not documents he's never seen before. So it's not a surprise document that, when I say in his possession, I mean documents that are his documents in another context, which we will obviously get to when we go through evidence here. So, but the problem was never raised. For the first time yesterday, this complaint was raised. And I think it's raised belatedly. I think it is derailing us. We have limited time, and unless there's an issue that needs to be resolved, which I don't understand there to be, I would suggest that we move forward. All of the documentation that the witness needs, he has. Sorry, the last thing is receiving the statement late really did prejudice this team. There's a lot of information to gather in order to present and coordinate and collate evidence to present before the Commission in these hearings.
So are you saying that the lateness of providing the general with the documents was as a result of the lateness of his statement?
We certainly needed to see the statement in order to know where we were going to go ultimately in our questioning. We couldn't know that until we saw the statement. So absolutely, yes, it did.
You just make me understand this. If you have the documents and you know or possibly know that you are going to be using them, is there anything that stops the evidence leaders from finishing the other side with the documents?
No, Chair. We couldn't know what avenues we needed to investigate further until we received the statement. So documents, I received possession of documents through my own inquiries late, and only after the statement had been provided.
Any further submissions, Ms. Hassan?
No further submissions.
Thank you. Ms. Mafisa?
Thank you, Chairperson. Maybe I must first start with our second appearance on the 26th of January. I'm a little bit tired, Chairperson. But on the 27th of January, we did communicate to the evidence leader. I specifically communicated to the evidence leader in person that the documents that we received on that particular day it was perhaps maybe unfair to give the legal team those documents that belatedly on Tuesday. I did not have enough time to read through the documents. My attorney did not have time to read through those documents, and Major General Senona. So I would like to make it quite clear that this was communicated in person to the evidence leader when we received those documents. Then regarding my learned senior's argument that all of the documents had been received by the 26th of November, 2025, I dispute that.
I'm not sure that Ms. Hassan said that.
Perhaps, okay, if Ms. Hasim
I think what has been said, even including late last year, is that at some point the general, obviously through his legal representatives, communicated to the commission that he had now received everything he wanted. That is what I remember. Not that all the documents, including those that were received only on the 26th, had been given to the general last year already. I did not understand Ms. Hassim to say so.
Thank you, Chairperson. I will also address that particular issue. So I do think that I must make it quite clear, all of the documentation that we actually received from the 26th of November, and then I will go after the 26th of November. I don't think it's necessary for us to do any of the documents predating that. But on the 26th of November, the only documents that we still required, commissioners, is SCN 1 to SCN 7. So we duly received those. We were given a memory stick, and my attorney was able to send the rest of the legal team as well, SCN 1 to SCN 7. So there's no issue regarding that. However, yesterday evidence was led on the WhatsApp chats, unredacted WhatsApp chats. As of yesterday, we had not received the unredacted WhatsApp chats. We confirmed that we received SCN 1 to SCN 7, but the unredacted WhatsApp chats attached to some of those annexures, we did not actually receive them. And I think that's what Major General Senona was trying to communicate yesterday when he himself raised that particular objection.
When did you receive those for the first time? Because as the testimony was being given and as questions were being asked around those texts, I did not get an impression that you did not have those texts in front of you. So at some point you received them. When did you receive them?
Thank you, Chairperson. May I quickly just have a chat?
I'm asking this apropos your point that you did not have them in an unredacted form, yes, sort of giving the impression that up to this point you still do not have them. No. So that's why I want to know what exactly you mean and at what point did you receive them?
Yes, no, my apologies if it actually came across as that. No, Chairperson. Perhaps maybe let me rephrase myself or just properly describe to the Chairperson the true facts. So we only received the unredacted WhatsApp chats. I think, please, I must be, perhaps maybe I should be open to correction here, but it was on Sunday in the evening. So we were in possession by the time that we came to the commission, but this is the issue. Yesterday, I think a question was asked, and again, commissioners, please correct me if I'm wrong. Why did Major General Senona not cover certain issues in the statement? And so I think even with these messages, had we received them prior to Sunday, because we submitted our statement on Thursday, the 22nd of January, we would have been able to deal with them properly within the statement. So that's the only reason why I'm mentioning this issue of the unredacted messages. It did not give us an opportunity to deal with them correctly within the statement. So when Major General Senona was questioned on these things, unfortunately, it wasn't already placed within his statement. And I realized from the commissioners over the last 3 days that it is quite important to deal with certain things within the statement. And so these are my submissions to the commission, unless perhaps I must chat to my attorney. I might forget certain things, but I think that is it for me. Thank you, commissioners.
Sorry, Chair.
Oh, sorry, Chair.
Are you done?
Thank you. I just forgot to mention one point just regarding the belated statement. I would like to apologize to the evidence leader and any prejudice that may have caused to the commission. I must state that on Friday, when we were finalizing the But on Friday, the 16th of January, when we were supposed to submit the statement, we had our consultation with the client, just going through the statement. He then informed the legal team that there was another implication by witness C. Witness C had stated certain things. And so, unfortunately, we did not want to submit that statement prior to us actually seeing what witness C had said, just in case the commission actually leads evidence on what witness C has stated in the statement. So we did address a letter to the commission's attorneys on Friday, and I will accept that it was quite belatedly, and we do apologize for that. It was Friday sometime in the evening at about 6, after we had missed the deadline. We do accept that responsibility. We addressed a letter to the commission saying that it seems as if there's another witness that may have implicated Major General Senona. We would like to receive a little bit of time to consider this. And I hope now I don't have my dates mixed up. I don't have the correspondence before me. But that's essentially what we were trying to do. We're trying to first, read the documents concerning witness C. And I think then we also sent a letter to the commission's attorneys requesting the transcripts and the relevant recording that witness C had made mention of in the evidence, so that we can just consider all of that. It wasn't available online. I will say that the commissioner's attorneys, they provided that to us very, very quickly, and they also assured us that witness C's evidence would not actually be used in Major General Senona's leading of evidence or even in the probing. And so then we endeavored to, yes, and then that's when we submitted the statement. But I must definitely apologize for belatedly submitting that statement, because I do understand the prejudice that the evidence leader and the team will have in circumstances like that. But I hope I'm not going to be held to some sort of gunpoint just regarding the dates. Genuinely, I do not recall.
No, not just the dates. No,
it was just the gist, yes, that I would like to communicate to the commissioners. I don't think there's anything else from our side. Thank you.
There's a lot of detail there, which I think Ms. Hassimi is entitled to respond to.
So, Chair, the first thing is, yes, we were informed very late, and the request was for the recording. We responded immediately, and we provided the transcript of witness C, even though we were not intending to rely on witness C's evidence for the purposes of questioning this witness. We still provided the transcript. Despite that, then the next thing that happened was that there was an undertaking that the statement would be provided to us by the 19th to 20th. That was the language, 19 to 20. We granted an indulgence to the witness and waited until the 20th. And on the 20th, there was no communication from the witness's attorneys as to why we still hadn't received the statement. And we had to make a further request. And this is particularly in light of the fact that there was nothing more, given that there was no information that was provided to the witness that required further work on the statement. It was just inexplicable. And no explanation until now, such that it was provided as to why it was so late. So I just want to clarify that. There was quite a lot of correspondence, and it was only on repeated pressing that we eventually received signed statement on the Friday before the hearing. As far as the questioning yesterday that Ms. Mafisa says was unfair because it relied on information that had not been provided to the witness before the statement, that is factually incorrect. It's factually incorrect. I questioned the witness on an annexure to the WhatsApps. And the question was, why is it we are getting a response now on the issue we were engaging on when it wasn't in the statement? And the response is that was not provided to the witness before the statement was due, and that's just incorrect. Those annexures, and Ms. Mafisa acknowledged it earlier when she said those annexures were provided on the 26th of November, annexures SEN1 to SEN7. That's what I was basing my questioning on. So it's just factually incorrect that there was any prejudice to the witness in my questioning. And if necessary, I will return to those questions today because the witness had those annexures in his possession well before 16 January.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes, you wanted to. Yes, thank you. That was also my issue because my recollection is that yesterday's objection was based on the SEN annexures. But we've now heard from Ms. Mafisa that in fact they were provided electronically in November last year already. But my other issue, Ms. Mafisa, is reading page 18 of the general statement. You'll see that there's footnote 13 and footnote 14. What the general is talking about there is the WhatsApp exchanges between himself and Mr. Madlanga, leading to the meeting at the Pels on the 15th of April, 2025. So he did have those WhatsApps and he did read them in preparing his statement. Otherwise, he would not have referred to them and even have date stamps. I would understand if he said, I cannot deal with these WhatsApps because I have not received them, or the format in which I have received them is redacted, so I don't know what's in the WhatsApps. But looking at this statement, it creates the impression to me that he has seen the WhatsApps, he knows what is in the WhatsApps, and he can give evidence on that. I do not get the impression looking at footnote 13 and 14 that he does not know what is in those WhatsApps. I mean, he even gives date stamps and he says what they relate to, which means he must have seen them and he must know what they say.
And it's not just those. The statement as a whole is replete with references to the text exchanges between the two of them. But anyway, sorry, I interrupted you.
But the specific ones he objected to was page 39 and 40. And that was the WhatsApps of 13 and 14 April 2025. Now, the way he refers to them in the statement gives me the impression that he must have seen them and he must have date stamps and he must know that those are exchanges between him and Mr. Madlanga. And he must know what the discussion in those WhatsApps is. That's the impression I get looking at this footnote.
Thank you, Commissioner. May I please take you to the WhatsApp chats? I, unfortunately, now I'm not even working with the correct exhibit bundle. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner. I would like to take you to the WhatsApp chats, and I think it's the WhatsApp chats right above the times, the date 13 April 2025. The timestamp there is 16:32:07.
You're looking at page?
Sorry, my attorney will just get that for me, Chairperson. I don't have the page at the moment. Thank you, page 38. So all of the WhatsApp chats on page 38, they were in actual fact redacted. So I do agree, I definitely can confirm that the annexures SCN1 to SCN7, we did have them. But what we were referring to actually was not even the messages related to those annexures SCN1 to SCN7, but we were referring to the messages above that. So those messages above the timestamp of 13 April 2025 were redacted. So when we received these WhatsApp chats on the 9th of October via the Rule 3 notice, those messages were redacted. We only received the unredacted messages on Sunday. So my argument is simply this. We were unable to address those redacted WhatsApp messages within the statement. That is only what I was trying to say to the Commission.
But it's the greetings, Ms. Mafisa. Good morning, Duna.
Chairperson, whether it's the greetings or not, I think then perhaps maybe the chairpersons may be missing a greater point, which is the point that we are trying to make here is that we have been fighting to get evidence. That is the point that we are trying to make. I think it would be, we would truly be missing the essence of the point if we just simply say, but this message is inconsequential, this is consequential, this is inconsequential. We have to look at the greater process. We've already accepted responsibility that we were at fault in submitting the statement belatedly. We 100% accept that responsibility. But I do think that it's important that even if the Commission's attorneys are making mistakes, we must bring this to the attention of the Commissioners. Thank you.
Chair,
Commissioner Baloyi.
before Commissioner Baloyi comes in, if I may.
All right.
Because it is important that we get the facts correct. And the WhatsApp messages were sent in October last year. What was redacted in those WhatsApp messages were the phone numbers. So at the top of each message, it has the actual number. And it has been the practice of the attorneys to redact that sort of private information, confidential information from documents that they sent out. So it was only the phone numbers, 2 phone numbers, the phone number of General Senona and the phone number of Mr. Matala. That is the only thing that was redacted from those documents. If there was a problem on the printing on the other side and the formatting went askew and therefore it blocked other messages or something, if that's the reason, if that's what happened, it's possible. We should have been informed. And we were never informed that was a problem. But it's a problem that was the thing that is redacted are the phone numbers, not the content of messages. The facts are very important.
Chairperson, I don't know if I can hand my page up. As we received on the 9th of October, it is incorrect that it was merely the numbers that were redacted. I can hand this particular page up to the Commissioners. We can also print it out as we received on the 9th of October, but I don't think I will take the argument further.
Even if that were true.
Based on what Ms. Hassim has just said, I don't think there's a dispute there, because Ms. Hassim says the content of the texts was not redacted, but that something may have gone wrong electronically when your side printed the documents, but that the content of the texts. We saw what the General gave us yesterday. It was blank and the text was not there. So we accept that. So there's no dispute there. So the question is, if the attorneys sent something that actually had the content of the texts, what went wrong, where and how, that would be the issue. Yeah. But the point Ms. Hassim is making is once your side got those blank texts, perhaps an issue should have been raised by your side. That's her point, not mine. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me once we have resolved, and this is both to Ms. Hassim, Ms. Mafisa, and the General, that once we resolved what brought us here, which is annexures SEN 3, SEN 4, and 5, once we resolved that, in fact, these were already given last year, it is still a fair question, because I understand, Ms. Mafisa, to accept that that's what happened. You got them last year. It is therefore still, it is a fair question to ask the General, why did you not deal with these in this statement? Because as you would recall, that's where the problem starts. You said he shouldn't be asked that question, and we asked Ms. Hassim to pend that question while we resolve this. It's clear from your admission that in fact, that's a fair question to ask because you got these last year, these annexures. And it's not clear to me why we are having this discussion now and wasting so much time on it. In my experience and expectation, two things should have happened. One, on day one, you should have recorded fully what your concerns are about the bundle of documents that you've been given, and then we deal with it so that we run with evidence and we know how to manage the process if indeed there are documents presented that were not given to the witness in good time. That's one. Two, my experience is when a witness sees something for the first time on the stand, they are quite entitled to say, can I please have time to look at this document, consider it fully before I'm required to answer the question. And that in many cases may well entail pending that question to allow the witness outside of the pressure of a sitting to look at a document and come back and properly answer. That's how you mitigate where documents have been given in the last minute. And I would expect that, for example, with a document you say the witness got this morning, that is, you know that is available to him. And if he says, I need time to look at it because I've not seen this document before, we deal with it, not we're having a back and forth on day 3 of the witness's evidence, right in the middle of his evidence about actually a document that he has seen, that he has had since October last year. I would urge that we continue, Chair, that we continue, and if any other documents come up, the historical matter is historical matter. We are here now. And if there are any other issues about documents that the General is seeing for the first time, it's for him to tell the chairperson that as he's being asked about documents, and then the chairperson will make rulings as we go ahead. Chair, that's my suggestion.
I actually made the same point. I said, with the video, once a complaint was made, we immediately said, you will be given time. So what Commissioner Baloyi says is something that we have actually done practically. We are not theorizing about it. So once a complaint was, we are seeing this video for the first time. This is going to prejudice us. We immediately said, Ms. Hassim, please avail the video to the other side. And we did not proceed about that video until the following day. So even with other documents, chats, or whatever else, if an issue was raised, we would have done the same. About the other documents, you say that you were quite annoyed and that you even voiced your annoyance to Ms. Hassim, but you never did so to us, and you have not said so. So there is no reason why we would not have done the same as we did with the video. So now it's very late, and for the first time we are being told of possible prejudice. And about documents, I'm being told have been, according to Ms. Hassim, have been with the witness for quite a while, or at least some of them. Just before we conclude, and my inclination is to do what Commissioner Baloyi has said, but before we conclude this, what would you like to see? What do you think would mitigate any prejudice, if there be?
Thank you, Chairperson. I do agree that we should continue. I do agree with that. Perhaps what I will also just say from our side, because we have taken up quite a lot of time from the Commission, perhaps maybe what I must say is we committed definitely that we had received the documentation on the 26th of November. Commissioners, I'll probably just simply put it in this way. We do not know the evidence that the Commission is in possession of. So when we specifically mentioned that we wanted the evidence of witness X and the corresponding statements and the transcripts, to our minds, that was what we would need in order for us to put the statement together. But for us to belatedly receive I think it's a little bit, now here comes the word unfair again, but I think it's a little bit unfair to be placed in a position where we tell the Commission, this is what we need, this is what we need, I think we've got everything. Our first letter on the 17th of October actually stated, all of the evidence that you have, please provide it to us. We've always said that. So we do not work at the Commission. We have no idea what is at the disposal of the Commission. So I think for me, that is just the only thing that I will say or add to the submissions that I've already made. But I am perfectly okay. My attorney is also perfectly okay for us to proceed, Chairperson. I don't think we have to go on this back and forth anymore. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mafisa. We will continue. If any issue arises, we will deal with it as and when. Yes, Ms. Hassim?